Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It is a beautiful morning, isn't it? And as you have heard in the first reading, Ben Sira recounts the wonders of the Lord in creation. When you go outside and you see the beautiful universe we are living in, you can indeed agree with the author of the first reading that God is omnipotent and omniscient. And because of that, His providential care extends to everything He has created. And this comes out clearly in the Gospel reading with the healing of the blind man. In Jesus' time, and I can say even in our own day, people with special needs were often looked down as some sort of second-class citizens. The blind, the lame, the crippled, the lepers, the widows. But God sees them differently because they are all His handwork. They are His children who are worthy of love. He knows them, and none of them escapes His knowledge. This blind man sat by the roadside begging. That is all he could do with his condition. The lucky day dawned when Jesus passed by, and this was the only day he could grab his chance to plead for God's mercy. Jesus, Son of David, have pity on me. But because the crowds around him regarded him as not worthy of God's love, they rebuked him to be quiet. But Jesus disregards the noise of the crowds. He breaks through the attitude of the crowds. He reaches out to him and transforms his life. I pray that you and I never become an obstacle to those who are trying to reach Christ. We should guard our words and our actions, lest they become an obstacle, lest they lead others away from Christ. But also that blind man, Bartimaeus, stands for all of us. You and I are that blind man. We all have our own blindness that needs Christ's healing touch. Blindness in our relationships, at home, at the workplace, blindness in our faith, blindness in our moral life, and so on. We need to ask Jesus to come into our lives and transform us and heal us. And we ask Him to come in our lives when we pray. Through prayer, God comes to us, God heals us. This blind man teaches us something about prayer. I noticed 6 things which stand out in his mode of prayer. The first is humility. This man knew his condition. He knew that he was in need of Christ's healing touch. We need humility to acknowledge our need for healing. The second thing is faith. Although he was blind, physically blind, he knew Jesus by faith. And I suppose that this faith came to him from hearing. Someone told him about Jesus. And it is because of this faith that he was healed. Even though we have not seen Jesus physically, we have heard about him. We know him by faith. This faith is crucial before we begin to pray. The third thing is strategy. Bartimaeus was in the right place at the right time. We need to position ourselves well to encounter God. The fourth thing is prayer itself. He actually prayed in simple words, "Jesus, Son of David, have pity on me." And when Jesus asked him what he could do for him, he said, "Master, I want to see." We need to say something to Jesus, spoken or unspoken. We need to dialogue with him. It is not because he is ignorant of our needs. We have heard he is omniscient. The other thing is determination. Against the crowds, he shouted all the more, "Jesus, Son of David, have pity on me." We need to disregard the noise around us when we pray and focus our attention on Christ. And finally, after God has healed us, after we have received our sight, what do? This man followed Christ. Doing God's will is the greatest form of thanksgiving for what God has done in our lives.
Hello, OLPH. My name is Mary Lynn Januszewski, and I'm the Director of Finance and Operations at this message for your ongoing generosity and support of OLPH Parish. This overwhelming generosity allows us to continue to serve and to minister to the parish community in so many different ways. So thank you, OLPH, for all you do. You are much appreciated.